Hi, you're watching Video Nurse. My name is Imei. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and a registered nurse in the state of Washington. Not here to diagnose any specific diseases or disorders you might have, or a friend or somebody that you know, but here to give general advice to the public. Might be able to save you some money or some time with your health questions. And today I'm going to be focusing on what I am calling back to flu season. Instead of the back to school season, some of you may be parents or you might be kids. You know what it's been like to prepare to go back to school, and there's a whole set of routines that you do to do that. And parents too, thinking about what goes in lunch boxes, how much money to spend on clothes, and what to do with all those hours while your kids are in school. Kids also have to prepare for going back to school, getting into a schedule that's been different from their summer. And anyways, there's a whole routine around that. And I thought, there aren't that many routines that we use to implement and help people know how to prepare for the flu and cold season. And already I've had friends and I've known of other people who have reported that the cold and flu season has already begun. Now this is a little bit different than what we heard a few years ago, because if you wanted to get a flu shot, a lot of people were told to wait until November or December to get that flu shot. And that's because actually the flu shot has changed. One, we're making a lot more of the vaccine and making it available to everyone. What we've learned about H1N1 is that it is very, very powerful, and it can take a very strong person who otherwise wouldn't be susceptible to, a cold or flu quite like this. It can take that man down for the count. Really make him miserable. Lots of people actually went to the hospital for H1N1. And quite a number of people actually died. The CDC is still getting reports in, but from March of last year to this year, approximately 27,000 people actually died of H1N1 in the United States alone. Okay, that's a huge number. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the last CDC accounts that I received. So what I'm doing in my office, Seattle Direct Counseling, is that I'm using both my registered nurse background, because I can do this, it's in the scope of my practice, to make certain that everybody who comes into my office or even asks for a free consultation will get this checkup for me, called the Back to Flu season. And my motto is basically saying, too bad there isn't a McAfee, virus scan for human bodies, so I'm going to be your virus scanner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement this program where everybody who comes to my office or even gives a phone call gets a free checkup. Even if you're just coming in for a coaching session or for a consulting session, you'll get this free checkup. Now, what can you expect in your B2FS checkup? One, you'll get an oral questionnaire about cold and flu season to help you evaluate your best choices for preventing H1N1 flu, pneumonia, and cold. Now, I know there are some people who are opposed to getting the H1N1 flu shot or cannot, meaning they do not qualify for it. I am one of those individuals since I am allergic to one of the products of which are the suspension of which the H1N1 virus is in. So I'll go over through this questionnaire what you can expect so you can make the best choice for yourself. Number two, you will get a reminder of how to prevent the transmission of flus and colds. So most people don't need to be told you need to wash your hands a lot during the cold and flu season. But some people don't remember how much they should wash. And basically I say if you have any contact with people during the day, wash your hands often. If they're sick, wash them even more, and ask the person who's sick to please wash their hands as well. And you want to use hot water or warm to hot water. Definitely use a soap. It doesn't have to be antibacterial. It can just be regular soap. And you want to scrub for 30 to 45 seconds with that warm or hot sudsy water. Okay, number three, helpful tips on staving off the cold is what you're going to find from me. So I'm going to provide some tips that can be found in a little PDF that I'll give to people for free, and they can just download it to their computers or their mobile devices. Number four, they will get a recommendation from me for diet, exercise, and supplements to help keep them healthy. Now, I don't sell any supplements. I just want to make that very clear that I don't profit at all financially from giving out any referrals or recommendations about supplements. So I tend not to say specific drug companies, but if you are looking for a brand, or if you're looking for somebody who distributes those, I might be able to connect you up. But I myself am not a middleman. I am not part of an MLM, and if I give you that information, it's certainly on your own decision to look into them, and I don't profit from that. And finally, number 5, I will tell you when you need to see a doctor. Now, lots of people end up going into the doctor's office when they're really miserable, but they may not actually have anything that a doctor can do about, because it's not treatable, say, by antibiotics or any other medicine other than an over-the-counter medication and rest and time. And so what I'll often do is, anybody who comes in my office and suspects that they may be sick, I can tell them, based on what I know and what they tell me, whether or not it's time for them to go and get a doctor's visit. Now, ideally, you won't come into my office sick because you're going to expose me to something. But, if you can actually incubate something and not be sick yet, but kind of guess that you might be. And that's actually the time to march on it and take care of it before it gets any worse. So you want to isolate the problem, and you might, in some cases, need to isolate yourself from others. So I have some great tips about when to see the doctor and then what to do when you are sick. So that's going to be my back to flu season promotion, and you can get that in my office. Now, I want to challenge other healthcare professionals out there, whether they're doing something strictly in healthcare or in a support industry of healthcare, something in the wellness industry, such as providing supplementation, or in the fitness industry, to also have some kind of guidelines for this season. We do expect it to be pretty bad. It's already gotten started, and once you expose yourself to something and then you transmit it to others, it does tend to spread like wildfire if you don't jump on top of it, especially H1N1. It's quite powerful. So those are my recommendations. Definitely get a back to flu season checkup. This is Imei with Video Nurse, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Be well.